Today in cannabis news, as statewide cannabis legalization proposals move forward in the Maryland legislature, a recent survey finds that the majority of individuals, regardless of political affiliation, back the legislative update. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs clarifies that it will not finance cannabis-related therapies. And the U.S. Department of Transportation considers an updated drug screening strategy that may have substantial impacts on employees who consume cannabis outside of work. It's Tuesday, March 15th, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the Trichomes.com studios in Southern California, it's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, as statewide cannabis legalization proposals move forward in the Maryland legislature, a recent survey finds that the majority of individuals, regardless of political affiliation, back the legislative update. According to a Goucher College poll published this week, 62% of Maryland respondents support legalizing cannabis statewide. Of them, 54% of Republicans, 65% of Democrats, and 65% of independents support cannabis legalization in Maryland. The poll also addressed Maryland residents' economic perceptions, which showed that 56% of Marylanders feel that recent price increases have caused either minor or major financial hardships. Marylanders are feeling an economic pinch. A third say they are worse off financially than they were a year ago, and more than half say they are affected by the recent price increases, said Malia Cromer, director of the Sarah T. Hughes Center for Politics at Goucher College. Price increases have yet to dampen views of the state's broader economic situation. A majority continue to say it's mostly positive. The same as in October, though down somewhat from this time last year.
Next up, within a recent assistance initiative focused on averting suicides within the military veteran community, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has clarified that it will not fund cannabis-related therapies. The initiative will provide or coordinate the provision of suicide prevention services to eligible individuals and their families for the purpose of reducing veteran suicide, according to a memo on a suggested provisional policy for the Staff Sergeant Parker Gordon Fox Suicide Prevention Grant Program, posted recently in the Federal Register. It is important for VA to note that any approaches and treatment practices approved will be consistent with the applicable federal law, said the VA in a memo. For example, the use of grant funds to provide or coordinate the provision of marijuana to eligible individuals and their families will be prohibited, as marijuana is currently illegal under federal law. This comes despite numerous service members and outreach programs testifying to the U.S. Congress and government entities that cannabis is a viable alternative for chronic illnesses that typically plague service members coming back from duty.
Last up, the U.S. Department of Transportation is considering an updated drug screening strategy that may have substantial impacts on employees who consume cannabis outside of work. Urinary screenings are currently mandated by the Department of Transportation, something that activists and specialists see as troublesome since THC compounds may appear in an individual's bodily fluids for long periods following usage, culminating in false positive screenings for individuals who are not truly intoxicated while at work. Mandating employees to provide urine samples is additionally seen as an excessively intrusive procedure. The agency is now suggesting that oral salivary screenings be offered as an alternative, according to a memo posted recently in the Federal Register. This will give employers a choice that will help combat employee cheating on urine drug tests and provide a more economical, less intrusive means of achieving the safety goals of the program, DOT stated. That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit trichomes.com. And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Tech and Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation, wherever you get your podcasts. For trichomes.com, I'm RJ Balde.
And I'm Devin Leal. Have a great day.